Hey folks, in today's video we're looking at the brand new Sony A7S III, the long-awaited successor to the A7S II, and the Canon EOS R5. Now this is not a complete camera review, all we're looking at is their 4K 120 frame per second video and comparing the usability and the output of each of the two cameras. Let's roll the slow-mo. Now, from the outset, I have to say this is not a complete camera comparison. We're only looking at that aspect of slow-mo video. If you're not interested in 4K or in slow-mo, I don't really know why you're here. I am doing this comparison and it's pretty much selfishly because that is a feature that I have been waiting for. I had the opportunity to use the R5, thanks to B&H Photo for loaning me both of these cameras. I didn't get them from the manufacturers. I wasn't offered them early from the manufacturers, and my thoughts are my own. B&H don't restrict me in any way. Now, I had the opportunity to use the Canon R5 a lot during filming the single light dramatic portraiture class. That's currently up as part of the 2025-day deal that just went live yesterday. You've only got until Tuesday noon Pacific time to check it out. You get $3,000 worth of different photography courses, including my one, for just $89. And if you use our link, you also get a bonus of a bathtub shoot with Steph, where we take you through start to finish how we craft the water, the flowers, the poses to make this beautiful final image. The only way you can get the bonus bathtub shoot is by using the link in the description below. If you don't use my link, you won't be added to my list, so I won't be sent your email, so I can't send it out to you. So make sure you check it out. Don't leave it to the last minute. It ends on Tuesday, the 20th of October, noon Pacific time. Now, slow-mo, in my opinion, can really add to the production value of any production, really. Yes, it's maybe been overdone a little bit with the walking shot in vlogs and that kind of thing, but it can really elevate a production, and it's a great way to get different kinds of B-roll that help to tell your story. Look at a feature film. This is not just something that is used in YouTube. It is a useful feature to a lot of filmmakers, whatever niche they happen to be in. So, having used the Canon for several different shoots, including the outdoor martial arts shoot where we were filming with the gimbal, then filming with a dancer, and a 1920s style shoot. Both of those were for the single light class as well, and of course the bathtub shoot. It's producing really beautiful results, and one way that I think the Canon really shines, and I know it's a cliche, and I know people have done studies comparing all of the different manufacturers' images blind, but for me, out of camera, without doing very much to it, or without doing anything to it, I've really found the skin tones beautiful. Look at this slow motion clip moving away from Johanna, which we filmed for the Art Nude Portraiture website. It's just stunning, the colors that this is coming up with. Now, the Sony, I feel like, first of all, it's great that you're able to just use standard SD cards to get the slow-mo footage. You don't need to necessarily be using CF Express. But a note on that, whilst that's handy, you have to be really specific about which kind of cards that you use. I found myself in this weird position where I had fast enough cards, but I couldn't get any of the slow-mo options to work. Turns out that you don't just need, the category 10 or cards that say that they have 300 meg per second read and write. It needs to be V60 or V90 to enable the higher speeds. And coincidentally, the only V60 and V90 cards that I had were Sony cars that had been recalled as being defective, and the camera recognized that and then wouldn't roll on them. And then the CF Express weren't available to buy, and. So again, thanks to B&H Photo for getting me out some V90 cards so that I was able to unlock the faster and more data intensive write types on this camera. And thank you to Sony for loaning me a couple of CF Express Type A cards to use in this as well. Already returned those, but that was really handy. So be careful on that. Both having the swivel screen, great. The Sony offers you considerably more options in terms of the types of bit rates that you can film in. And you have the option to get the 120 frame per second with it capturing audio rather than only getting the video, which is great for being able to sync and then to be able to have, you know, moving action and then ooh, slow it down and come back again. Now, it's kind of an unfair fight. It's kind of ironic that Sony, that for so long the camera's overheated. Even my A9 Mark II filming in the sun a week ago in Philly shut down after 20 minutes or something. It got too hot. But the A7S III has some magic and just doesn't. So saying that the Canon, and this is true, I like the ergonomics of the Canon better. I still like the menus of the Canon better. And I think the image quality has a slight edge straight out of camera, but they're easily equalized in post. That's all true. But it's just completely unusable practically on a shoot. We had two of them in when we were filming of the R5s. And we were literally keeping one in a cool bag whilst we used the other for little 5-minute bursts here and there. And it would just hit its limit and lock you out. Into the cool bag it goes, into action the second camera goes. And it's just ridiculous. We would do, for example, an hour of filming and then stop and get some B-roll, do another 20 minutes of filming, stop and get some slow-mo. And it would just continually overheat even in that kind of a scenario. So it's like comparing a McLaren to a Ferrari and saying, well, the McLaren's more polished and it's got better finishing and the engine note is better, but it breaks down every 5 miles. It's just not reliable. If I'm going to be taking something into a professional situation as they stand today, absolutely no question, it would be the A7S III. Yes, Canon have some beautiful lenses. Yes, the color profiles are great, but it's meaningless if you're locked out and unable to actually use the camera. Just stupid, pointless, and there's no point even having that as a feature, which is really disappointing because, you know, the Canon also has great high res and it's a stills camera and it does 8K video as well. It does so many things. It's rather than a McLaren and a Ferrari, it's like comparing a Ferrari and the new Tesla pickup truck that's going to have those ridiculous speeds, but it also does so much more. But it still is no point if you have to stop and recharge it every 10 minutes. So for me, the Sony is an easy winner here. Having said that, I'm still not sure that I'm willing to jump into this one. I'm really keen to see what Nikon is going to do. You know, hopefully the next generation early in 2021 will come out with 4K 120. Let me know what your thoughts are. Which way would you go on these? Is 4K 120 something you would use? I assume it is, otherwise why have you watched this long into the video? Before I wrap this out with a little bit more slow-mo reminder, don't miss out the 5-day deal. Charity Bundle is live now. You're helping out 3 great charities. You get an amazing deal of $3,000 of courses for yourself for just $89. And if you use our link, you get that bonus bathtub shoot as an exclusive extra to those who are on our list. So I hope you enjoy all of that, folks. Have a great weekend and I'll see you soon.